What's up, YouTube? It's the Java programmer, and today we're going to do a little maintenance. I realized in our configuration helper class that we are loading a file for our brokerage properties, and that file is coming from inside the project. However, I don't want to commit my brokerage property files into this program, so what we're going to need to do is, instead of loading the properties file out of this directory, we're going to have to link to another directory. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So if we look at our configuration helper, we see that we are loading extra.properties. And that's fine, but I want that to not be the file that's in this project. I want it to be up one directory. So if we take a look at this project for a second, we'll see that we have this extra.properties. Now, granted, right now it's empty, but I'm going to move it to upper directory so it's out of the project, and then I'm going to link that file so it's not actually a real file. It's just a link to that file which is outside of this project. This way you could create your own extra.properties file, put in your own brokerage. Now we'll go over what goes in this file, but I just wanted to make sure and get this set up first before we start connecting up to a rate provider and putting in the login information and all those things. The company that I'm going to use is Oanda, and because of the nature of these videos, I'll be showing real-time quotes. I'm going to have to do a disclaimer at the beginning of each one just so that I can stay out of trouble, because we will be seeing real-time quotes and prices on foreign exchange. Important risk disclosure. The risk of trading can be substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. It should not be assumed that the methods, techniques, or indicators presented in these videos will be profitable or that they will not result in losses. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. Examples presented on these videos are for educational purposes only. These setups are not solicitations of any order or buy or sell. The authors, publishers, and all affiliates assume no responsibility for your trading results. There is a high degree of risk in trading. Risk disclosure statement. The risk of loss in trading futures, options, and securities of Forex can be substantial. You should therefore carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your financial condition. Past performance does not guarantee future results. We do not promote any stocks, options, or commodities of any kind or Forex currencies on this video. The products and or services on this video generate mechanical trading system signals and is not investment advice. We do not and have not received any compensation from any company whose stock appears in this site or exchange currencies. We have no financial interest in the outcome of any trades mentioned herein. There is substantial risk of loss trading future stocks and or options and or Forex. You need to determine your own suitability to trading futures, stocks, Forex, or options, and there may be tax considerations for short-term profits or losses on trades. Consult your tax advisor for details on this if applicable. Hypothetical performance disclosure. Hypothetical performance results have many inherent limitations, some of which are described below. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to these shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical performance results and the actual results substantially achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or to adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general and or the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in the presentation of hypothetical performance results, and all of which can adversely affect actual trading results. So now that we have the disclaimer out of the way, today I want to write a very quick and dirty program that will display the current rates feed that comes from the brokerage. I happen to be using Oanda. I am not in any way affiliated with them. I do not endorse them. This just happens to be the one that I'm using. I've looked into others. They seem to be the best as far as size and market share. That's the reason I use them. But you could do this with any other online broker that's out there, and there's several. I'm simply choosing Oanda because I have to choose one. With that, let's look at what we're going to do. So I'm going to create a new, because this is not going to be our destination application, I'm going to create a new main class. we'll just call it app test rates, and that way we'll probably end up throwing this away before we're done. But for right now, I learned this cool little trick in Eclipse the other day. You can type in the word main and choose this main option here, and boom, it fills that in for you. I thought that was kind of cool. Maybe you guys already knew that, but anyway, I thought it was cool. So the first thing I want to do is, just to make it a little easier on ourselves, I want to grab this config and logger out of our other program, and I'm going to use those here. But we're not using the app class, we're using the app rates, test rates class. So that sets up that. Now, one of the things that Oanda provides is a Java library that gets you access to their API. And so I'm going to bring up their website real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So if I go to oanda.com and I log in, now I'm going to use what they have. Two platforms. They have the FX Trade, which is real-time trading with real money, and they have FX Trade Practice. I'm going to be using Practice solely for the purposes of these videos because it's not real money, it's fake money, and we can do everything that you can do that you can on the real side. It's just with play money. All the rates are today actual today's rates, but it's all just in a practice account, so you're not actually doing anything. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'm going to turn off this launch trading platform because they have a web-based version that you can use. But I just want to show you, this is what it looks like once you log in. You have to create setting up an account is free. A practice account is free. So go ahead and do that. Also, you will need to email them to get the library. I have not found any other way to get the library than to email them. They say that it's available in their forum, but they change the library quite often. But anyway, I have the latest version of the library. You'll have to take that up with them. But I just want to show this manage funds. You can set up these fake accounts. You could put money in those accounts. For instance, if I click on this account, I say I want 10,000, or I want, let's bump that to 100,000. They basically let you do whatever you want with the account because this is not real money. So, oh, that's interesting. Logged me out. Let's log in one more time. Again, I don't want to launch the platform. The other thing I want to show is the API access. They have a full REST-enabled API. I'm not using that. I could use that, but I choose to use their library. It seems to be easier to manage when it comes to the rates. It does caching for you, so when you do a history search for historical rates, like for instance, if you have the program running for 20 minutes and then you say, I want the last 10 minutes worth of one minute rates, all of that data is cached for you, and then you don't even actually go out to the server to get it. Whereas when you use the REST API, none of that's cached, and you have to make calls to them every time. And in doing so, it's slower. So I personally like their library and the caching that comes with that versus their REST API. However, you could mix and match if you wanted, but anyway, on a new account, you would see a generate button. I've already run that, and it turns into revoke. But when you hit the generate, it gives you a one-time access key and token. Those you would use for your REST API. I have that set up, but I'm not using that. But anyway, this is the Oanda. This is what an Oanda account looks like, and from here, we're going to be getting the library set up. So let's go ahead and log out, and we'll just go ahead and close this. So for the library, let's go into our program, and we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it lib. Now, there's some question on whether I can share this library with you or not. I believe when I read through the usage agreement that I am not allowed to share the library. So I'm going to create a lib folder, and I'm going to put the library in there, but I am not going to commit it into the code. You will have to get that library from them directly. And like I said, you just email them. Within a day or so, they email you back, and they include the library. So it's not they will give it to you. It's just, for whatever reason, I can't share it with you. So anyway, let's look at where this library is. I happen to have it in my home directory. So it's called Oanda fxtrade.jar, and we're going to move that into lib, or copy it, I should say. Now if I refresh, here's our library. I'm going to go ahead and add it to my build path. What that gives me the ability to do is I now have all these classes available to me. And the major one that we're looking at is this API class. And I'll show you how to use this in a minute. So if we go back to, we've now included this in our project. And let's go ahead and see how this gets used. So if we open this up, I'm going to start writing some code here. So the first thing that we need is a connection to this this client, or this API. And so it's called an FX client. So FX client equals API dot create game, FX game. So if you see the difference here, there's FX trade and there's FX game. That's the difference between the two types of accounts. FX trade, real time, real money. That is your live account. FX game, this is going to be your practice account. So we're going to be using the game for this tutorial only. So we have a client. We need to set some parameters about that client. One is there's this with keep alive thread. What this does is there's a keep alive that's this client connects to the server like every second or every couple of seconds to make sure it's still alive. What I've found is if you don't have this turned on, your client will just stop after about an hour. It loses connection and then it's done. Whereas I've run a client for 2 weeks straight with having this keep alive turned on. So I definitely recommend having that turned on. There's also one other thing, which is what we are going to be testing today. So we want the set with rate thread. So this is a separate thread that runs in this API that manages all the rates for us. And the whole purpose of this program is to view some rates. So we turn the rate thread on, and now, these are basic configurations for the client. Now we actually have to log in, and so this throws an error message if it fails. So from this point on, we're going to be inside of a try catch. So client.login. Now, bear with me. We're going to say config.getProperty username and config.getProperty password. So you're probably thinking, whoa, where are those coming from? So a couple videos back, we set up our config handler class, or config helper, and these values are going to come from the extra.properties file. So let's go look at that right now. So remember, I linked the extra.properties to a file outside the project, because you're going to have your own. You're going to have your own username and password. I'm not going to commit mine into this project, but if we look at this, basically here where it says username and password, you just set them like this. Username equals, and then your username. And then password equals your password. Obviously mine is blurred out so that you guys can't use my practice account, but you want to put these in your extra.properties file. Now, we might run into an issue. I can't remember if we have to have quotes or not. We'll find out later. But for now, add these two into this properties file, and this config is going to grab them from there when the program starts up. So that should be all that we need to do in the file for now. So we've done a login. Assuming that is successful, we want to get a rate table. I need to set this up here. Let's see, this is a rate table. And so here, rate table equals client.getRateTable. And so this is how you interact for getting the rates out of the client. Like I said, it's more of a cache than anything else. Let's go ahead and fix this exception. We're just going to catch all exceptions and just print a stack trace so that we can know what happened. So we've got a rate table. The next thing that we need to do is we need to register a handler for this, for actually viewing the rates. So we tell the rate table, I want to get the event manager, and I want to add a event handler. Now in this case, because it's a rate table, it's going to handle rate events. So for right now, we want this class, which is our test rates, to handle these events. And I just realized that this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to restructure this. Let's do this. Public. There we go. So the reason I did that is because now I have the ability to add a event listener, I think, to this class. Our class needs to extend up here, extends fx rate event, I believe it is. And why is it complaining? Add unlimited. Oh, okay. So our unimplemented method, once we extend a rate event, is this handle, and basically what happens is this handle method gets called for every rate that happens or that Oanda sends us. So I think this should be as simple as outputting. Let's do this here. This be an event info, and this is an event manager. I think we can simply output this event info. We might need to get a little more specific with that, but I think that should be it. So let's go ahead and run our program and see how far off we are from this actually running. It's asking to save the other file. So let's see. So we're getting a bunch of, let's see, authentication failed due to exception. So let's look at this. We have our client, which is FX Games. That should be the trading game. Let's do a little debug on our config here. Maybe our config is not set up properly. So that should print out my username somewhere in this if I run this again. And where is my username? Username. Why am I not seeing this? So, as you guys might have noticed, I tend to wing these programming sessions because I figure you and I would potentially learn more by doing so. Oh, I see why. This thing's failing. We're getting the exception on the login. This is happening after I gotta do that here. There we go. So I think it's a good opportunity that we both can learn as we do this. There it is. I think I know the problem. Remember I said about the quotes? I was wrong on the quotes. Got to take the quotes out. All right, let's try that again. So here we go. Oh, looks like it's logged in. It's getting rate. Whoa, there we go. We've got some rate events. There's a lot. Now this happens to be Friday around Friday around noon. So the trading market and Forex is starting to slow down, but still that looks like pretty decent rates coming in there. So let's actually see what these rates are. We're just seeing the class at the moment, so I forget exactly what we have available to us here. So let's see. Rate event info dot. There's not a whole lot. Okay, I figured out what my issue was. This event info is a generic event info. And we happen to know because we've added the event manager to the rate. We've got the event manager from the rate table, and we're adding something to it that we would expect only rate events. So we have to cast this event info into a let's see, FX, I think it's rate event equals FX rate event I can't type today, event info. So now we should have a lot more things available to us. So as you can see, I'm still missing the boat here. Let me figure out what's going on. I apologize. My brain today, as you probably know, noticed my voice is a bit rasp. I stayed home from work today because I'm not feeling well and my brain's not working too well, but I thought, hey, I could get a video in, why not? So we're not going for a rate event. This is an event info, so it's an event. What this should be is a rate event info object. And why doesn't this like me? There we go. So we got to cast this side to that. Now we have a rate event info. And in a rate event info, we should have, there we go, pair and tick. Those are what we're interested in. So in our rate event info, let's print out the pair. What that is that it's going to tell you what it is that's going to be like Euro USD or USD AUD or the different pairs. So we're going to print out the pair, and we're also going to print out the tick. Now the tick has things about it. It's got ask and bid and max units and stuff. Maybe we'll do this. We'll print out the ask price, and we'll print out, let's see, rate event info dot get tick. We'll print out the bid price. So this should be the two different prices. So we're printing out the pair. Maybe let's put this all on the same line because there's going to be a lot of these, as you can see by our last run of the program. So we print the pair, and need to, let's see, take this line out. All right, let's see what this gives us. So we should see the pair, then the ask and the bid. Ask price is always lower than the bid. Let's see what we get. Yeah, there we go. And look at it whiz by. So as you can see, this video has gone a bit long, but we do have a quick and dirty, let me go ahead and stop this so we can look at some of these rates. So as of today, the Euro New Zealand dollar is trading at 1.55. Some of these rates I don't know what they are. So Great British Pound trading against the Swiss franc. We got 1.2576. We should see a USD in here somewhere. But anyway, as you can see, here's the rates. There's potential that you are only going to be interested. Oh, there's one. Got it. You're only going to be interested in certain rates. So, like, for instance, let's say that we're only interested in the Euro USD. We could say something like this. If rate event info dot get pair dot equals Euro USD, then we'll print the rate. Otherwise, this method gets called and we do nothing. So now we should just see the I don't want that, go away. So now we should just see the Euro USD rates, and it's probably not going to be so much going by. It's going to be quite a bit slower, as you can see. It is Friday afternoon. The market's going to close here in the next couple hours, so generally speaking, Mondays and Fridays are not very active. But I would assume that if you're familiar with Forex, you already know these things. If not, I would suggest going and reading about them because I'm not going to teach you about Forex. I'm simply a programmer and not a Forex guru. We should see at least one event. Huh. So, I don't know. Maybe my code's broke. Maybe I need to say like .to string dot equals. That could be what's going on here. There we go. So you can see the Euro USD is trading at 1.1231. It's pretty slow right now. But anyway, you get the idea. This program works. You need to sign up for an Oanda account and get their Oanda FX Trade library. You can use that for both the trade account and the game account or the practice account. And anyway, this has been the Java Programmer. Thanks for watching. We will develop this out a little bit further next time, but for now, see you on the next video.